What's going on? This is going to be a crazy video, so I suggest you stay to the end. Yes, it's going to be a little bit longer than usual. There's no cuts, there's no editing, there's no scripting. This is just me trying to speedrun a high-ticket sales funnel landing page as fast as I possibly can. I've seen a ton of people doing this trend lately on YouTube with Shopify stores, meta ads, stuff like that, just speedrunning and dropping a lot of sauce. So I figured I would come on here and speedrun a ClickFunnels landing page for a creator of my choice and just show you kind of how I run things. So I'm just going to get straight into it. Okay, so as a lot of you guys probably know, I work with a dropshipper already. His name's Adam Griffin, and we're doing consistent, not constant, but consistent 20 to 30K months completely organically. So I figured I'd pick someone in the same niche, kind of show you guys exactly how I'd go about creating his funnel and his landing page. Now keep in mind, I'm only going to be working inside ClickFunnels today, just creating the landing page and kind of that part of the funnel. There's a lot more to a sales funnel. Obviously, there's different parts. So if you want my full free training, breaking down all the different parts, it's going to be the first link in the description. I'm also going to pin the comment with a link to that. So feel free to watch that. It's like a 40-minute video of me just dropping sauce. But let's get straight to it. So this is Andrew Yu. He is a very successful dropshipper. He's got 70K subscribers on YouTube and about 7,700 followers on Instagram. Tried reaching out to this guy a while back and never had any success landing him. But I figured why not just make a video, use him as an example, and make a super good landing page. So let's go ahead and check out what he has now, and then I'm going to show you like a breakdown kind of that I put together. So what he's offering is a Discord community through WAP. It's $99 a month, and then he has one-on-one mentorship. But if you go to his YouTube, you can see he has a mess of links here. That's the first red flag for me. You want your creator to have a very clear CTA with 1, 2, maybe 3 CTAs max. So this is way too many. This is just kind of confusing. Like, he has this free training, but then he also has an A to Z course. So it's just super confusing. But if you do click on his ClickFunnels landing page, no offense to if he made it or his operator, whoever made this needs to work on their skills. We'll say that much. Very, very basic headline that's not really going to grasp and catch people's attention. The favecon here isn't even customized. It's just the ClickFunnels one. The title here is not optimized at all. Andrew Yu one-on-one, like, you need something kind of cool there. And then the landing page is just kind of boring. It's just kind of ugly. And it's missing some key components. This is very simple, and this is it. You scroll down and you can apply for coaching. That's literally it. And it takes you to a Calendly. There's no type form. There's no anything like that. So we can make some big upgrades here. I've got everything laid out for us, but this is the rundown of the creator. Again, drop shipping, decently sized creator. Could easily be ripping 50K a month organic if he does the things right and if he uses my types of systems and maybe even uses my landing page. But this is what we're going to do, okay? Here's the breakdown that I did. This took me like 5 minutes. I wanted to have it ready for you guys. So the target audience, this is just kind of what I put together. It's what Adam's target audience is. I'm assuming it's what his target audience is as well. That's going to be 16 to 25-year-old males who are business-minded. They've probably tried other businesses in the past but failed. SMMA, reselling, and obviously drop shipping. Those are like the very basic ones. They probably tried those. They probably failed or made just a little bit of money. They have beginner to intermediate knowledge of dropshipping, so they're not completely unaware of what this is, right? We need them to be solution aware to some degree. And then they believe in the potential of the business model, but maybe they need help in believing in themselves, right? They need help believing and investing into this dropshipping and this coach and everything. So what can we leverage? Well, based on just a quick research of him, Andrew's main store does about $50,000 a day in revenue. That's a huge selling point. Obviously, he knows what he's talking about. Obviously, he's going to be able to coach other people. He's done well over 7 figures in drop shipping from his stores, and he has tons of student testimonials as well that he's really not leveraging the right way on his landing page. What's the offer? Now, this isn't exactly what he's offering. I don't see that anywhere. Again, something that he needs to fix is you should be able to tell what the offer is right off the bat on the landing page. There should be some bullet points or something. I put this together just as a very basic offer that he could rip for now. Weekly one-on-one calls for 2 months, 24/7 access through Discord DMs, private suppliers, Shopify themes, other resources for dropshippers, an exclusive community of dropshippers to network with, obviously through Discord, and then group calls and recording. What can be improved? So this is kind of what we're going to work on with this current offer stack. And there's a lot, guys. This isn't the only things, but this is what I'm going to cover. Way too many offers and links. We already went over that. He doesn't need to have a low ticket, a one-on-one coaching, a free training, and an A to Z training. Basic aesthetics, so stuff like the favicon, the titles, improving the look of the landing page, obviously. We're going to improve those. He's missing a USP, which is huge. I have that for every offer I run. Target audience, call out, objection handling, none of that is present on the landing page. That's going to help conversions right off the bat. He has no guarantee. Now, I'm not saying you have to have a guarantee, but this helps a lot. This has helped me up the conversion and just how much we're making per month with Adam's offer. And then optimize testimonials. So maybe adding some stories about each person, quick sentence or two that he writes just explaining how that person went from A to Z, right? From bad to good. And then some one-on-one interviews. He doesn't have any one-on-one interviews. He has one video, and it's more so an entertainment style video that he posted on YouTube. He really needs some one-on-one type of interviews that are just for the landing page. So let's get straight into it. We're going to start from scratch, obviously. We're going to name this. We'll just name it Andrew U for now. We can customize all this later, obviously, but this is how it looks like when you start a brand new ClickFunnels, right? So we're going to load up. We're going to create a page. We're going to do a new page. We're not going to take any of these templates. We're going to create a blank page. Name this landing. Sorry, my mic's in the way, so it's going to be kind of hard for me to type today, but we'll get through it. And then we're going to edit, right? So we're going to get straight into this. It's going to be completely blank. I'm going to show you guys as quickly as possible how I'm going to make this landing page look good. So first of all, this is the layout I go with, right? We're going to go sub-headline, headline, sub-headline, and then for now we're going to do an image, but this would usually be the VSL. But when I'm wanting to pitch someone on a landing page or just kind of give you an example, we just use an image. I'll show you what we're going to do later. And then button, right? That's what we're going to start out with. Obviously, there's more below it, but this is the very start of it. So first thing I want to do, I always like to pick a color theme first, and I usually like to base it off of the creator's vibes and everything. Something that stood out to me is this green color. I really like this kind of mint green. Obviously, it's coming straight from Shopify, so it relates to dropshipping as well. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use snipping tool, right? And we're going to get this green color. I'm going to include this blue color too because I may be able to cook with that. We're not going to save it. We're just going to exit out. And then what we can do is paste that right here. Now, see, we have the colors right there. So I'm just going to get a square, and we're going to find, boom. Okay, now we have that mint color. Let's get the blue color as well, just in case we want to get a little crazy and use both colors. I will say, rule of thumb, I do like a 2-color type of landing page. If you look at any of my landing pages, they are 2 colors, right? So I'll show you a couple right now. YBE Business Solutions. Is that it? Shoot, what is it? Well, I'll show you Adam's, which is obviously just, it's this dark gray and then purple, right? And then obviously white is like the sub color, the main color. I'm trying to remember. I don't really want to show all my funnels in ClickFunnels, but I run a really good one that's like this gold color with dark gray as well that I really like. But let's try this color. So we've got the color code for this. We're going to copy, and we're going to come here, and let's change this one for the time being because this is obviously going to be white. This one is. For now, we're going to make the background black, but I'm going to show you a really cool thing that you can do with some custom code, and we'll make it dark gray. So we're going to do some custom coding in ChatGPT to kind of change this, elevate it a little bit, make it stand out from the crowd. But for the time being, so this is kind of how I go about the headlines for a landing page. This is kind of like the anatomy of it, and this is what I repeat time and time again. So the top subheadline is a target audience call out. So let's just write this for now. So this is a call out. This is introducing USP. So it's just kind of like selling what it is plus outcome. And then this is objection handling. And that's kind of how that's going to go, right? And then you have VSL. You have call to action, whether that's apply, whether it's book a call, whatever you want to do. And then I'll show you what we're going to have below it as well. But that's what we're going to start out with. And then obviously we're going to make these, we'll just make it white for now. I think that's going to be the best look. That's usually what I go with. So target audience, right? It's this. Now, how could we sum this up in the best way? Let's go to ChatGPT and say, I need a target audience call out sub headline for a drop shipping coaching offer. Here's the target audience. Please make a headline. And then we'll just paste this in here. We'll see what it can do. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. A few options. Let's see what we got. I don't hate this, but it's not really calling out anyone. Because what I usually like to do is kind of, hold on, let's ask ChatGPT. Can you start it out with this? And then we'll say, attention. Put that in headline so it understands. I like kind of doing this, like, attention aspiring dropshippers or something like that. That's the way that I like to go about it. It's not really giving me great results here. We'll go with this, and we're going to change it a lot. But this can be what we put in here, and we'll change it from there. So attention, first of all, this is just cringe. Attention. Trying to think of something good, but like obviously this is off the dome. It's not scripted. It's not scripted. Attention. Entrepreneurs. I'm just gonna find me to do that. I'm just gonna go with what I said. Aspiring. Don't know how to spell aspiring apparently. Aspiring dropshippers who are tired of. Is it unprofitable or non-profitable? Unprofitable stores, terrible margins, just something like that. So calling out the target audience. And the cool thing you can do here to make all of these capitalized without having to do it individually, you just go here, boom, now every word's capitalized. So I don't hate that. And then for objection handling, we can say this is going to make more sense after I write this out, but basically it's going to be USP plus outcome, so how you can achieve X in X amount of time using X without. So I always start it without. Actually, I won't do it that way, but I'll just say without previous marketing or sales experience, even if you've never made a Shopify account before. So here's objections, right? So common objections for beginners or intermediates are going to be like, oh, but I don't have that much marketing experience or sales experience. I don't really know how to create a good Shopify store, or I'm so overwhelmed by Shopify, I've never even created an account before. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. So this handles some of those objections. Now let's say this is an important part. This is an important part, the headline. Obviously, this is the main part that's going to catch people's attention. I'm going to have ChatGPT come up with a USP for me. And then I'm going to create the headline while it generates that. Can you come up with a list of possible USP names for this drop shipping coaching offer? And if you guys don't know what a USP is, it stands for unique, right here, unique selling proposition. It's basically like giving a name to the vehicle, right? It's the vehicle. So what is Andrew actually teaching that helps you achieve the outcome? That's the USP. And it's usually just a cool, catchy name that gets people's attention. But let's see. So let's say how anyone can achieve 10K months in 60 days or less using my, let's see what it has. Dropship rebuild, these are really bad. Next gen dropship fail-proof formula, resilient seller, blueprint bootcamp, build to breakthrough mindset to margin. These are pretty bad. Can you make some more unique ones? Try to use wordplay and other things that revolve around drop shipping. Shopify, sales, margins, stuff like that. Sometimes you just gotta tell ChatGPT exactly what you want, and then it can be better. Margin call, cart comeback, that's not terrible at all. Revenue amplifier would be kind of cool too. I might go with that. Revenue amplifier system. How anyone can achieve 10K months. We gotta add dropshipping in here. Is it 2 P's? Nah. Am I tripping? You know, it doesn't really matter. Now we're gonna make this white because this looks stupid, and then I'll show you how we can highlight a couple words in that green color that we have. Now, something I always like to do is let's override, and then I like to give it some line height because it's always kind of mushed together. So I give it like 110%, something like that. Okay, let's read this over and see if we like it. Attention aspiring dropshippers who are tired of unprofitable stores and terrible margins. How anyone can achieve 10K months. We'll say 10K plus because we never want to put a cap on what we can do. 10K plus months dropshipping in 60 days or less using my revenue amplifier system. I actually really like that USP. Without previous marketing or sales experience, even if you've never made a Shopify account before. I think that's solid. It's not the best. It's not perfect. But for this, it's going to work. Again, I just went and capitalized every word. So now let's make this stand out a little bit. Let's make this headline look a little bit more professional and not just so like cut and dry. So I always like to highlight this. Obviously 10K months, like that's something we can highlight. So let's underline it. And then if you click this link button, you can link any sort of color to it. So let's go back to here. Let's grab this color code. Okay. And it looks white, but it'll be, if we, hold on, I gotta save this. If we save this, it should be that green color on the website. It's not. Okay. Simple fix. Now we just underline it again. Pretty simple. Why is it? It's being difficult. Boom. Okay. How anyone can achieve 10K plus months dropshipping in 60 days or less. And then we're going to highlight US. And then, okay. 60 days or less, we're going to italicize just to give that some standout as well. So I'd say the 3 things that I like to kind of stand out on my headline are how much we're going to be making, right? So in this case, we're going to do 10K plus months, right? So we're going to make that stand out with colors, underline, italicize, whatever you want to do. The time frame, if you include that in a headline, which you don't really have to, but if you do, italicize that, change the color, do something. And then the USP always needs to stand out as well. So for this one, we're just going to do the color. We're not going to do anything else. I think that's good. I want to give this a little bit more room to breathe, so we're going to increase the line height just a little bit more. And then I think that looks good. So that's how we're going to do that. We keep the rest of it white, so it's really simple. Always remember to save. ClickFunnels is not auto save, so you can waste a lot of time, which I have before. So let's go ahead and A very simple way to make this look way better off the rip is getting like a image here. That's gonna be the free training or the VSL, whatever it's gonna be. So let's go. Can we get? That's perfect. That's perfect. This is always what I do. Give it a second. Let me skip this ad. Where's right here? Can I just get it clean? Here. Alright, we're gonna use this. So I'm gonna snipping tool this. Boom. We're gonna grab this. We're gonna save it. Say Andrew thumbnail. Now we're gonna go to Wistia. It's probably gonna make me log in. This is where I house all of my VSLs, everything like that. I just uploaded some random video of like a dog, just so I could kind of show you what to do. But basically you just come in here to customize, and then for the thumbnail, we can add a custom one, which is going to be the one we just saved, obviously. Give that a second to load. Boom, there that is. And then we're going to go to, let's save it first. Then we're going to go to appearance and brands, and we're going to find that color code. So let's copy this again. And we're going to copy this here. Boom. Now what we can do is we can take a screenshot of this. I don't know why it's kind of glitching out with the... You can see the dog stuff in the background. We're just going to take a screenshot of this. We'll cut off the air part right there. We'll do something like this, because we're going to round the corners anyway, so it doesn't really matter that that's cut off a little bit. We'll name this... It doesn't even matter. Just gonna pull it anyways, but boom. Okay, that's good. We're gonna go back to ClickFunnels. We're gonna upload that image. We're gonna go boom, boom. Now this is in here, and boom. It instantly looks so much better. Now we're gonna go to corner. We're gonna round this out a little bit so it doesn't look weird. I think that's a good length. So boom. Obviously you'd have your actual VSL here, but this is going to be a good start for now because he doesn't have a VSL that I'm going to use. Now, what I always like to do for my landing pages is add a logo up here. It just gives it a personalized touch, everything like that. And that's why I have Canva open. I don't get fancy with this. I literally will go here. I'll find like some sort of kind of inspiration for this. I don't know exactly what he could use. I'm going to go with something super random. And obviously you can change it later on or anything. But let's just say bird flying. We can go to graphics. And we can find like a cool bird flying maybe. I don't know if this prompt is good. But even something like that. Like I'm just going to use this for time's sake. I don't want to waste a lot of time. Something Canva will do is if you just use a graphic by itself, it won't let you download it. So I'm just going to add a shape. And we're just going to send that to the back. So we'll put this above it, right? And then let's censor that. Let's make it as big as possible. Of course, this is in the way. But again, you have to have it there in order to download your image because Canva doesn't want you to do exactly what I'm doing. But it doesn't really matter. So, boom, boom. Let's take this color. You always want it to be the color, and we'll just download page 2. Boom. Okay, that's downloading. So let's go here. It doesn't really matter where you're at it. We're going to drag it up anyways. Image. Let's drag it up to the top. It's going to be the very top thing. And then let's go. Boom. I forgot to download it as a PNG. Hold on. That's on me. I'm selling precious precious time for this speed run here. Boom. Boom. Let's try that again. This time it should be transparent. Boom. Perfect. And let's just make this like 10%. I gotta fix margins here. So let's just, I always like to have it almost completely at the top. It's maybe a little bit too close, but like a 35, and then let's give this a little bit of margin because we want the headline to feel like one single piece. Maybe we could bring this a little bit closer to the sub headline. this one a little bit closer. I feel like that's good. So, I mean, that off the bat, does that not look pretty decent? That's not bad. Now we can change this. Obviously, I always like to go with modern button. You can go with any of them. It's really not that deep. And then you can obviously customize it here. So we'll go, boom. When it's hovered, we want a little bit of like a darker green. So we'll go with like that. And then press, we'll just go back to the original green. Shadow, we'll make this white. That always looks the best. And then for the head, for the button, we're just going to say apply now. Limited spots available. And then we want to lower, let's make the button a little bit bigger. We want to make the sub text a little bit smaller. It's a little bit big. I think that looks good. Let's give it some height. That's the wrong one. Let's give this one some height. Alright. I think that looks pretty good. We're going to move on to the body of everything now. So the first thing I always like to add is what's included and what's guaranteed. What I kind of like to do is I add a 2-column sort of thing. And then I'll add a headline, bullet point, headline, bullet point. This is going to be what's included. So what's included. And then we'll say what's guaranteed. We can like make up a guarantee. I don't really know what his guarantee is going to be. I do want to make this a transparent background, which you can do just by background and then choose a transparent thing. It's as easy as that. And now this all matches. Let's change the color to, I kind of like doing this, which is taking your base color and making it a little bit closer to white. Now, it looks good sometimes. Sometimes white's just better. I kind of like white here better, but that's always something to keep in mind. You can kind of like get in between white and whatever your color is. Kind of looks good, but we're going to go with white here. And then we're going to go with white text and that theme color for our bullet points. Same thing here, white theme color. We're going to change those after, but okay, so what's included? I'm just going to copy and paste this. You could get more in depth with this if you were actually like wanting to be very specific and everything, but I'm just, man, what just happened? Let's try that again. There we go. Okay. I don't know why it's copying and pasting opposite. Like, this should be at the top. This one. But doesn't really matter. We're just wasting a little bit of time. One-on-one calls with Andrew. Let's capitalize all these capitalize all these words. One-on-one calls with Andrew for 2 months. Group calls and recordings. It's just kind of like the order kind of, oh, this is supposed to be here. Like I want this to be the second thing. You kind of want your list to be best to like least applicable. So like obviously the best thing they're going to want is one-on-one calls with Andrew and 24/7 access through his DMs. Like the private suppliers and the community are going to be a little bit less of a selling point. So you want the biggest selling points at the top there. That's what's included. What's guaranteed? We're missing a guarantee. For the sake of the video and not taking too much time, I'm just going to say make your money back in within 60 days or get a full refund. Now, I wouldn't recommend doing a guarantee that big, like a whole refund, because that's just a lot. And let's change this to like a different, I don't know. I like this one. I just kind of like having different emojis or icons, whatever you want to call it, for the different ones. And let's unbold this. I don't really like this being bolded. We'll make this bigger text just so it kind of matches. Okay, that's the wrong thing. Just so it kind of matches, we're going to increase the text a little bit. And let's just we could just leave it there for now. I would probably add a couple more things so that this looks normal. Like, I don't know, but you could add an image here as well. I mean, maybe that would look kind of cool. Like, we could go with, I don't want to get too fancy here, but we could go for like a cool, like him in the car or something. Make a PNG of that, cut it out, and kind of put it here as well. You know what? We could also just do 100% money back guarantee PNG. We could do this. Now that one's not actually going to be a PNG. We could go with like, come on, give me something. We could go with something like this where we add a image, because I just don't like having that empty space. Now obviously you could add anything here. You could get a little bit more creative and add a custom image of Andrew, of your creator, you know, like I was saying. For time's sake, let's just do this. Let's make this a little bit smaller. Just something like that. Now, no, that doesn't look great. I don't love it. But again, I would play with this a little bit more. Make this a little bit better. But, hey, it's not terrible. You could also add like a couple different icons side by side. Like a couple different of these certificates or whatever. But there you go. There's your what's included section. What's guaranteed. Now, right after this is where I would add, boom, and a video. We're just going to add an image in this case. This is where you would add a testimonial video, a one-on-one video. So I know one of his most popular is this one. I'm just going to steal this exact thumbnail so we can upload it. Where did it go? There it is. This is going to look bad quality, but you get the gist of it. What you want here instead is like an actual one-on-one interview. You don't want something like this where it's obviously testimonial. You don't want something where it's like for entertainment. Like this seems like an entertainment type of video, right? You want an actual educational one, but it's fine. We're going to use it for now. You can upload this. Boom. Boom. Let's round this a little bit. And then obviously, yeah, that looks like shit because of the quality, but we're going to ignore that for now. Now this is going to be like a results thing. So let's name this guy Eddie. I don't know his name. We're going to name him Eddie. So we're going to say how Eddie went from a broke college student to making 20K a month with my, what do we call it? Revenue amplifier system. Let's just copy that. With my revenue amplifier system. And we're going to do the same thing here. Capitalize all the words. And let's go from a broke college student. So let's just italicize that. It's making 20K a month. Let's give that our custom color with my revenue amplifier system. And we're just going to do that. So we're going to add some spacing. I always just hate how the line height just isn't enough for me. It just doesn't look good for me. So we'll do that. Let's decrease this margin a little bit. And so now we've got the headline with perfect anatomy, you know, the call out USP and the objection handling, nice little random logo, VSL, apply now CTA, which we can make a little bit bigger, honestly. It's looking a little small. I like that. I like that. Let's make this a little bit thinner. And then, yeah, we're just going to go like that. So that's basically what this looks like. Now, let's add a little bit of margin here. Now, what I would do is let's just copy and paste this. We're going to clone this, move it down, boom. And then we're going to have a who's this for and who's this not for. You know what? We're actually not going to clone it. We're going to make a fresh one because we're going to have to do things anyways. Same type of thing, though. Same type of thing, so it kind of looks the same. Who's this for? Actually, we're going to say who is this for? Who is this not for? Okay. Make it white. Make it white. Make it all white. Not in a weird way. Okay, ClickFunnels is glitching on me a little bit. Boom, we're back. Okay. Now, who's this for? We're going to have to kind of... I'm stealing this straight from Adams. I'm going to be totally honest. I'm stealing this straight from Adams because I basically copy and paste the same thing. It's really not that deep. This is just kind of for people to like resonate with the offer a little bit more. If they read these and they're like, oh my God, that's literally me, they're going to resonate it with a little bit more. So that's always why I go with that. Entrepreneurs who are ready to work hard for success, people who are ready to invest in themselves today, people who know that a 9-to-5 won't make them happy. That works with me. That's good enough. Let's change the color of this icon. We can leave the icon the same. Maybe we can make the text a little bit bigger, which is going to be right here. I think that looks good. We need to make sure we remember how big we made that. 82, okay. And then for this one, who's it not for? I'm just going to steal this as well. Same thing. So, boom. We can get rid of this. Get rid of that as well. Go back here. Boom. I don't know why it's copying and pasting so weird, but people who aren't ready to invest in e-com, people who are unfamiliar with dropshipping, people who want to get rich quick. Yep, works with me. We're going to change the font to, we did 0.82. Whoa, not 82. 0.82, perfect. Let's change the icon color. Let's change the icon itself. Where is that one? Boom. Can I update? Hello? We're glitching. There we go. Okay. So that looks fine. Again, if you want to add a... Nope. That's not what I'm trying to do. If you want to add some type of image or, you know, custom type of thing to make it look better, like I have with Adam, you can do that. But this is really all you need. And then it's just going to be a testimonial wall, okay? So then we're just going to add... We don't need a row. We need an element. Can it let me add an element? It's really annoying sometimes. We're going to add a headline. Drag this down here. Oh, I actually do need a row. Delete that. Boom. Boom. They're going to say, just a few of my student results. Capitalize that. Let's make this that color. I think it makes sense here. We'll make this extra large. We'll do large, and then this is gonna be a wall of testimonials. But what I did include here was optimized testimonials, so adding stories. I'll show you exactly what I mean by that, so you can model it for yourself and for your landing pages. What I mean by that is something like this, where each screenshot from Discord, which is super common, you're going to see this in every funnel, it actually has a story with it. So it's Adam explaining, okay, how this guy made his first $1,000 in revenue and kind of explaining the stories, right? So you don't need as many testimonials, but you can go into depth with them. Now we have a ton of testimonials, and we could have just had a wall of like 20 of these screenshots, but this is a lot more personable. It's a lot more like enjoyable for a lead to kind of read through these and resonate with them. So that's kind of what I would do with him. I'm not going to sit here and do that, but again, this would just be image. Okay, same type of thing, and then you add that on the side. I'm going to add some like random images for now. These are testimonials for like other creators. Like this is trading, but we're just going to include it for now. Let's do like 40%, I guess. Let's just add a few more because I just want these filled out or else they won't pop up when we go to preview it. What do we do? 40. $40. Just delete this one. I feel like this is taking too long. And then we're gonna add these in a few different places, obviously. So let's drag this to below here. I'm gonna add a row first so that we can actually have somewhere to drag it. Boom, boom, boom. Actually, hold on. Duplicate. Boom, boom. Let's add a row. Boom. And then we're going to add one more down at the very bottom. And I like to change the copy of this one. The rest of them can stay the same. This one, let's get rid of that. It's the lead just read a bunch of reviews, right? A bunch of testimonials, a bunch of wins. So we're going to add something like this. I want to join the people above. Super cool, super different type of CTA, right? I want to join the people above. Now we will make the font a little bit smaller just so it doesn't look too huge. And let's give it some margin. And yeah, that's what I like to do. And then we can add a very simple like headline, image, sub-headline. And this is just kind of like, this is kind of pointless, but I would just do like Andrew U Ecom. We'll add our logo. And I always do 6% for this one because it's a really small little thing at the end here. We're going to change this to that light color that I mentioned earlier. So kind of dragging it in the middle. We give like an off-white type of color. That's what we're going to use. We're going to make this a small headline. And then we're going to do... I'm just going to take from this again. And it's not here. Hold on. It's going to be on, man, right here. It's just this type of thing. So copyright just makes it look more professional. I like not ending a landing page abruptly with like a CTA or something. So this is just a better way of doing it in my opinion. We'll do... Andrew, Ecom, all rights reserved to make that 2025. And we'll give it that off-white type of green. And let's just make the margins a little bit smaller. So that margins we want to be huge. Let's do 150. Just so we have some, you know, separation there. Let's make that margin a little bit smaller. We want things to be pretty close to each other for this. It's not really meant to take up a lot of room. And boom. So that looks pretty good. Now let's add some custom coding to this. I'm not going to do too much. I'm not going to go too in depth. There's a lot you can do with it, but we're just going to do maybe one or two things. Let's get this color code in the copy chamber. Let's go to ChatGPT, and this is what we're going to say. We're going to say, I want a custom... Okay, let's do this. I want a custom moving gradient background for my ClickFunnels landing page. Use the following colors. Do that color. Okay, we'll do black. And we'll do a dark gray. So let's just go to the backgrounds. Let's do, can we edit that please? We'll just do this. It's like a pretty dark gray. I feel like, I like that. I like that. So we'll add this as well. And we'll say, can you code this for me? And it's just going to give us a really simple code that I'll show you where we can add to ClickFunnels. It just gives it a more professional feel. So let's let that cook for a minute. I don't know why they did it that way. Usually they'll give you because the style needs to go above and below this code. Usually they'll just put it right here and right here. I don't know why they're making it like this. I don't know why they're making it multiple steps, but that looks perfect. So we're going to go here. We're going to go to settings, show code. CSS is where you want to put it. We're going to copy that and paste it. We're going to save, and let's test this. Now, ChatGPT can mess up sometimes. It does take some like tweaking. So let's just see what this does and if it even works. So nothing. Let's see if it's ChatGPT or if we could change this a little bit. So instead of having it in CSS, let's get rid of it here, and let's just add a HTML element here. So if you didn't know, you can just add HTML anywhere on your website. Let's add it here and see if that'll do the trick. Save that. Boom. Nothing. So, okay. This didn't work. Can you troubleshoot? Just ask ChatGPT to fix itself. Usually it will. Usually it'll fix it. Let me make sure. I don't think there's anything that would. Let's not do that. That looks insane. I don't think this matters. I have it like that for my other sites that I have this on. So let's see. We'll see if this works. Let's go here. Select all of this. Whoa. And recopy the new code. Let's see if that worked. Boom. Now I've got that. Now, here's a couple things that I'm going to change. I've kind of learned. If the code is the same, I know how to fix this. You see how when it gets completely green, it looks kind of bad. Because we've got green logos, green text. It just looks kind of like right now. It all kind of gets washed out, right? The apply now buttons and everything. There's a simple way to change that, and that's just by changing how much it fills. So let's open here the background position. So let's change this to like, instead of 100%, let's do like 35%. And we'll change these to, I like 25%, and let's do 25% again. Now, we can always like come back and change these, but that's just how much they're going to kind of change everything. So everything else looks good. Let's save that and let's see if that will fix this. So it should just kind of take up like less than half the screen when it does kind of swoop in. Okay, that's not looking right. Let me try that again. Let's increase these. Maybe this needs to be like 50. 50. Let's try 50. This always just comes down to like experimenting with things, kind of just trial and error with ChatGPT and manually changing things yourself like this. Now clearly I've broken something, so let's just say I don't want the green to cover the whole page, only about 30% at most. Can we fix that? And it'll give us an updated code. Now with my other ones, I've been able to change it, and it's been able to only come up to like this part. I'm not sure why I can't with this one, but that's what ChatGPT is here for. So let's see if this one will be a little bit better. If you want green to only appear 30% of the gradient while the rest, you can define specific. Okay, let's see if this does it. Boom, boom. Okay, that just didn't work at all. This is where it gets a little bit annoying with ChatGPT. That didn't work at all. Try again. Let's see if it understands what I'm asking for. Dang, it just changed the code entirely. Hopefully this doesn't break everything because the code looks super different now, but Maybe it'll work. Always let ChatGPT cook. I'm going to troubleshoot this a little bit, and I'll get right back to you guys. I'm going to troubleshoot this and just keep talking to ChatGPT and maybe trying some stuff myself, and then I'll get right back to you guys because this is kind of like a boring thing to be working with, but I'll get back to you. All right, I just updated the code, talked to ChatGPT a little bit. Let's see what this looks like. That's better. I say we just lighten up the color a little bit. Let's do this strat that I was talking about earlier with that. Maybe if we use this, and I'll show you how to replace that. So you can see the color codes are just here. We're just gonna replace these two with that lighter color. That might make it look just a little bit better. So let's see. Did I save? Yeah. I think that's nice. Obviously, we could have this cut off a little bit sooner, but I think that's nice. And then it'll go towards a gradient of gray to black on the other side. It's like a 20-second loop. Let me add the finishing touches. So let's really quickly. This is good now. I'm going to leave this how it is. The only part I don't like is the testimonials. But again, I showed you how it should look and what he could do with this and what you could do with one of your landing pages. Now, last thing is just kind of, we're going to turn off test mode. We're going to hide the Powered by ClickFunnels badge. You always do that. We're going to update funnel. We're going to go here and we're going to go to settings, sharing image. We're going to change that to the logo. And that's just when you send this link, whether it's an Instagram DMs, whether it's a text, that link, it'll have the logo as the image instead of just the ClickFunnels. So that's a professional thing to do. If we go back and we click on the actual settings of the funnel, we can change the favicon, which is what I was talking about earlier. So we can change that to our logo. That's going to look a lot more professional. Update funnel. Now let's go back to the funnel. And then we're going to change the name of it as well. And the URL. So let's just call this like home. And obviously he could have some custom URL that we could put in here. We'll name this, let's name this, what did we call the USP? Revenue accelerator system, something like that. Accelerator system, submit. Now if we go to the live page, go live, this is what it looks like. So up here you can see the favicon, a lot more professional. We've got the logo, we've got attention aspiring dropshippers who are tired of unprofitable stores and terrible margins, how anyone can achieve 10K plus months dropshipping in 60 days or less using my revenue amplifier system without previous marketing skills or marketing or sales experience, even if you've never made a Shopify account before. VSL, apply now button, what's included, what's guaranteed, another apply now, like a one-on-one interview with a successful student, how Eddie went from a broke college student to making 20K a month with my revenue amplifier system, right? Again, recognizing the USP, making you stand out from the rest of the market. Who is this for? Who's this not for? Call out to your target audience so they feel special. They feel like this resonates with them. Apply now, and then that custom type of testimonial wall here. I want to join the people above. Obviously, this will take them to a Typeforms or whatever it may be. Yeah,